In this episode of Detroit Performs, girls are rocking out, a mixed media artist, and finding freedom in dance. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. Funding is also provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, the National Endowment for the Arts, the A. Paul and Carol C. Scott Foundation, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Detroit Performs. I'm your host, DJ Oliver, and today I'm at the Village Theater in Canton, where they have their own art gallery. Now, we'll see more of this place throughout the show. But first, our first artist, Girls Rock Detroit, is an organization that believes it's crucial for people of all ages to have music equipment and instruction regardless of their background. Take a look.
Girls Rock Detroit is an organization that promotes community and creativity and empowerment. It gives young people the tools to express themselves, to understand the world that we live in, which is a complicated world. And there's, they learn a lot of tools in school, but I feel like art and music is another set of languages that helps them express themselves in different ways.
I think the Girls Rock Camp program is very unique. I have never seen any other type of camp programming like it. Some of the most special things about our camp is that they are mentored by a community of all women, gender nonconforming, and trans volunteers. Additionally, what is cool about the camp is you don't need any experience, and a girl comes in day one and has never touched a guitar before, and then by day 6, she's on stage performing with her band. Most people hear about what we do at Girls Rock Camp and they think it's impossible. I've even heard from some of the volunteers who said, I just wanted to volunteer because I wanted to see you all pull this off. Girls Rock Detroit is a sector of a larger international membership organization called the Girls Rock Camp Alliance. In the 4 years that we've been around, we've now served over 200 campers, many of which who are returning, and we also have a volunteer community that's just as large.
Great job just supporting one another, being confident, and just rocking. Can we all just give each other a pat on the back for rocking?
Usually about half the kids come from the city of Detroit, and about the other half come from cities in Wayne County or Southeast Michigan.
As a program, I would say Girls Rock Detroit stands out because of their inclusiveness. Everybody feels included and welcome and comfortable.
They all shine in really different ways. There's a lot of space within the stuff that we do outside of music for them to find their niche.
Most people don't realize the camp has a ton of non-musical aspects to it. We've had yoga, right now we have a STEM workshop going on. They also do all the different sorts of things that go into being in a band or being a professional musician, things we never talk about, like marketing. They make buttons, they also talk about zines and self-producing those.
These programs really offered the kids an opportunity to have a creative outlet, to think outside of the box, to realize that I can create something from nothing and put it out into the world and it can be appreciated.
You see a lot of campers come in really shy on Monday, and by Friday they walk in the door like, I'm here, this is me, this is my name, and I'm a rocker, and I play an instrument, and these are all my friends. And as somebody who kind of grew up as a shy kid and as an introvert, to see somebody transform so dramatically over a week is so awesome.
The first time I came here, I felt kind of nervous because I didn't know what was gonna happen or what I was supposed to do. but now I don't feel nervous anymore.
Oh, I wear many hats. I'll tell you, I'm a DJ, a producer, a teacher. I'm honored to be the DJ instructor for Girls Rock Detroit. I love it. I absolutely love it. I make my girls feel like they're stars because they are. And to get them to stand up in front of people and I let them know that you are it. The DJ is better than everybody. You know why? Because you're playing the jam and that's their song and you can't help but make people go, ah!
Every year I kind of get like rejuvenated, and I'm seeing all these young people who are not afraid to celebrate who they are.
By being able to have this experience, it makes girls and trans youth, everyone included, realize that this is something that can translate to other things in their life.
We're hoping that each camper kind of walks away, even if they never touch their instrument again, that they walk away just knowing that whatever they decide they want to do, they can do it. That their future is boundaryless and limitless.
One of the things that we say to them is that you're beautiful and you have to think of yourself as that. So we don't allow them to say, oh, I'm ugly, I don't want to do that. We know you're beautiful and you're great. And we constantly reinforce that.
I think that these bonds are so powerful. I think these are memories they're going to have for the rest of their lives.
I just tried the program. It's excellent. It's done wonders for my daughter. She loves music.
It's really fun, always.
Coming up as a woman, I want them to be empowered. I want them to be strong. And then it's not a lot of music in school anymore, so they have the opportunity to learn instrument, express themselves in so many forms, especially through music, because that's powerful.
Personally, I truly believe that music education is a right and it should be an option for every young person.
Our hope is eventually to offer after-school music programming. Detroit's experienced some real serious cuts in their arts programming for public school students, so this is one way in which we could help fill that void.
So we don't turn anybody away for lack of ability to pay, and we work with everyone. So when you finish, just stand there, be proud, take in the applause, soak it up, okay? So there's many ways to support the program. Of course, volunteering is probably the best thing that you could do. We ask for women and gender nonconforming people to apply. If you have experience on an instrument, that's fantastic, but you can also volunteer if you have zero musical experience. Financial donations are always appreciated. You can also make those donations at our website. Come to our showcase, really support the campers, cheer them on. Otherwise, follow us, tell your friends, because I think that everybody has a young person in their life that could really benefit from this program.
Next up is mixed media artist Ramon Lavarro Jordan, whose work deals with understanding how changing oneself can affect those around you. Here's Ramon's story now.
Life shows you how to be an artist. If that's what you want to be, life will show you. I grew up in Detroit. My uncle, he was a cartoon artist. He painted buildings and he showed me a lot. And I pretty much picked it up and just did it for, recreation and get my frustrations out. School frustrations, relationship frustrations when I was young. And it helped me understand life more because I started to pay attention to people and how they act and things like that, and I started to portray it in my art. You only can paint so many people before it all started looking the same. And I was trying to figure out a way that I can actually set myself apart. My art medium, it consists of different things. It consists of woods, acrylic paint, two-part epoxy, steel, instruments, anything that I pretty much see that I want to do, I pretty much visualize it and meditate on it, and it all comes together. I got into meditation 10, 12 years ago because I was going through rough times in my life and I needed an outlet. I figure I can help myself by calming myself, being more patient with myself, and it helped me a lot. Certain works I get, it comes from trying to have peace in the world, and I have one piece that's it's done from Japan They have a forest, the suicide forest, and I did a piece on that. Depression, it's in many forms. You know, it can be slight, it can be overwhelming, and when I deal with depression, it's like I deal with it in a way of painting something beautiful so I can change a person's mind state, because you really can't change depression. Like, it doesn't jump from sad to happy. So I try to, you know, just columnize it and break it down for people to look over the timeline back at what they were doing and to now, to being happy. It's progression in one piece. The meaning behind what I'm creating right now, we would call it atmosphere. I'm actually building the height of the distance between coming up off the canvas so I can see how it looks in 3D, so it can look 3D-ish. The shapes, I wanted to choose the shapes that actually shows a lot of dimensions. So because I wanted to be able to create the illusion of like a foreground and a background and the distance. I'm a huge music lover. When I'm actually creating, I actually listen to a lot of classical music and a lot of soft rock and classical rock. A lot of the instruments inspire me because I used to play in middle school and I'm not very good at it, but I figure I could do something else with it. One day, I went to this place where they sell cellos. I was like, I want to buy 2 cellos so I can take apart and do some art with them. And the ladies was like, can you show me what you want to do with them? So I drew it out first and she was like, oh, that is nice. And she gave me 2 of those. I want the audience to take from my paintings, I want them to take a change. I want them to see like that everything doesn't have to be 2D or of somebody to be good art. It can actually you can mold art into what you want it. Instead of calling it art, you can actually call it creation, because that's what we're actually doing. This is a friend of mine. She's actually in the bathroom mirror and she's actually planning out her month, and her mother is in the mirror as well. She, instead of having an iPhone in her hand, she has a day planner. So she's following what her mother did, and that's how she becomes successful in her life. And I have my butterfly, and she is actually about life. She's pretty much showing you the understanding of life and how it's beautiful and how many dimensions it has. It's just a woman who's looking towards her future, pretty much. And I have, it's called Neurohuman, because all of the designs I have on there is pretty much the electric in your head, and it's pretty much showing you that life and love can be separated, but yet it still has its own line to be linked back to itself. People love it, and sometimes they're confused because they don't understand it because they haven't really seen it in person. When they see it in person, they're like, wow, I didn't think it really looked like that. It looked flat, but when they seen it, they like, okay, this is a beautiful piece of work.
Now let's check out some upcoming events happening in and around the D. Cervilio Amador is a principal dancer at the Cincinnati Ballet. Trained from a young age as a dancer in Cuba, he always enjoyed the freedom of movement afforded to him through ballet. The notion of freedom took on a new meaning in 2003 when he defected from Cuba to the United States.
I love to dance. Music and dance has been a part of my life since I was little. When I'm dancing, I do feel like I'm in another world. My name is Cervilio Amador. I am a principal dancer with Cincinnati Ballet, and I am from Cuba. So Cuba is known for 3 B's: baseball, boxing, and ballet. You want to be a ballet dancer. As a kid, people on the street recognize you. They know how hard it is to become one and the prestige that has in my country. Only 4 of us got into the National Ballet of Cuba, and I was one of them. The other good thing that ballet dancers have is like they get to travel the world. I mean, not many Cubans get to travel the world, and the National Ballet of Cuba travels the world. You know, in Cuba, the freedom is very limited. It's hard to explain, but it is this feeling of everything that we are doing is right and everybody else is wrong. Towards the last year of being with the National Ballet of Cuba, I was thinking about leaving a lot. There has always been a drive in me, something telling me to keep going, to keep pushing, to seeing what is the next level, what is the next step. I came to the United States doing a tour with the National Ballet of Cuba. That's when things then start moving towards another direction. I knew that some Cuban dancers that I had defected in America had a great career, and that was my aspiration too. I didn't talk to anybody about this feeling. I was afraid to. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be understood. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be supported. So I kept it very personal. I told my family I was gonna defect the day that I was supposed to go to the airport and take the plane. It took me 5 years to be able to see them again. There has always been this relationship between Cuba and America, a lot of history. I didn't really know about America. I'd never been here before. But I knew that there were many ballet companies that I could audition for and I could find a job. My passion and my struggle translate into my dance. You know, it's part of my personality, it's part of who I am, and you can definitely see it when I dance. It was funny because we landed in Miami, so the very first thing I saw was palm trees and things like that. I said, oh, this looks a little bit like Cuba. Actually, now that I think about it, the very first thing I saw was like being on the plane and seeing like so much light. Like it was huge, light, and it felt so big. That night at the hotel, my girlfriend's cousin came to visit us. So we were all talking, and then I brought up the conversation that I wanted them to help us defect. I had no idea that the very next day was gonna start my life in the United States. Their reaction was very positive right away. They said, we'll help you guys. Everything happened really quickly and right there and then. We packed our bags and we got in the car. That felt like all the doors open up. Like that felt like it was just really up to me to do it. A lot of things could have gone wrong. Ballet takes a lot of courage, but I think everything in life that matters takes courage. Classical ballet is very beautiful in the sense that it's a very all art form. It tells a story, it is the perfectionist, it is the interpretation of the music, it is the elegance of how you deliver every movement, how you deliver the story. Symmetry for classical ballet is everything. When we look at classical ballet, we look for lines, perfect lines. Your arms, your legs, your feet, your fingers. It's very precise, the position that you have to achieve every time you do a movement. The limitation of classical is a little bit of the freedom when you perform, because everything is already established, everything's been choreographed. Classical ballets, they've all been set. Classical ballet is the dance form that you start when you're very young. Growing up in Cuba, classical was all I did. In our country, they taught you how to think, they tell you how to live, they tell you what to like. It is very driven one way and one way only, the way they like. And on a way, classical ballet is the same way. They tell you this is the best art form. They almost teach you not to like anything else. There is only one path and one path only. I got my foundation in Cuba and I got my technique. My classical technique is from the Cuban ballet school. Now being in the United States, I have used that to open up myself, to open up my movement, to open up my dancing, to be more free when I perform, and I have used all that base to take it to another place. If you want to succeed in contemporary ballet, you have to open up your mind and your body and let go of what you like, let go of what you know. Contemporary work is free. It's interpretation of freedom of movement. It is a lot of fun to dance contemporary. It's different. It plays differently in your mind. That freedom, that continued movement, it is a joy to do. It's hard for classical dancers to shift. Most of the time, classical dancers just want to do classical, and contemporary dancers just want to do contemporary dancers. You don't find dancers that wants to do both and love both. It's very, very hard to find. I think I'm one of those dancers that love doing both. I really, really, really love doing both. You definitely need that freedom mentally to open up to contemporary, 100%. For me to achieve this level that I am now, it has helped a lot to be in a country where you are free. It has helped a lot to be in a country where you can express your mind. You can dress the way you want it. You can live the way you want it. It's really open. So that also influences you as a person. And I take that to the studio. There is not only one way. There is many ways that you could move.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to thank the Village Theater for having me out here today. Come on down to Canton and check it out for yourself. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I'm DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta Faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. Funding is also provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, the National Endowment for the Arts, the A. Paul and Carol C. Scott Foundation, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.